Okay. Hi, my name is Alice. I had an opportunity to come down to Salinas for a Steve Hilton and Gloria Romero barbecue. I got a chance to talk to Gloria. So most of us, okay, and I'm representing Bay Area and Asian community, and we really are into voter education. So what I would like to ask you, Gloria, is that most of us don't even know what lieutenant governor do. So could you help educate us?
Wonderful. Thank you so much. This is so important.
Yeah.
I am Gloria Romero. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor of California, and I'm part of what we call the Golden Ticket for California, supporting Steve Hilton for governor, myself as Lieutenant Governor. So the Lieutenant Governor is essentially the number two in the state of California. God forbid, should something happen to our governor, I would step in to become governor. So I'm prepared, ready to assume responsibilities day one. Additionally, the lieutenant governor is the president of the Senate. And the reason why that's so important is because the Senate is the body where all gubernatorial appointments are made and go for confirmation. So we need to have a lieutenant governor who's overseeing this and working with our senators to make sure that if it's, Governor Steve Hilton, for example, that we get the government, the cabinet that we want and that is needed for California. So I would
because you have to approve it.
They have to be approved. So I'm going to be working with all of the senators. I know the rules of the Senate, very important. So that's why that's important. But additionally, the lieutenant governor sits on every board of higher education in California. The University of California as a regent, the California State University as a trustee, the governor for the Board of Governors of the community colleges. Sure. And so California spends almost half of our entire budget on education. So I would be overseeing meritocracy, the graduation rates, making sure our students are not only college ready for college, but career ready. And we see changing technology, so it's very important there. Also, the lieutenant governor serves on the land and the coastal commissions. And we saw, for example, that between Governor Newsom and Mayor Bass in Los Angeles, they burned down half the state of California because they didn't follow sensible fire mitigation policies. They have these far left woke ideas that you just let the underbrush grow, and you can't have that. So I would be there leading on this issue. Also, as lieutenant governor, I would be looking at international trade, looking at the development of our economy. Steve Hilton and I were in downtown Hollywood just a couple of days ago because we've seen the outflight of Hollywood production jobs to other states like Georgia and New Mexico. And some people think, oh, it's just the rich people, it's Hollywood. No, 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 no. Many of the industries that support Hollywood production are the caterers, the hairstylists, the truck drivers who transport and set up all the production. Right. And that's a vital part of the industry. So there's a lot more, but you get the idea that the lieutenant governor, in the past, it's been ignored. Nobody knows who the current lieutenant governor is, and you have to wonder, did that person even do anything? So I would be a lieutenant governor who would be very strong, knows what needs to be done to turn California around, and will work to make sure that we make California golden again. So please vote Gloria Romero, Lieutenant Governor.
Wow, that is wild. I have no clue.
Most people have no idea
what lieutenant governor does. I mean, that's a very, very important job. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And then one thing I guess I want to point out too, that you were a state senate chair, right?
Yes.
Before.
Yes.
So that kind of what make it even better because you already know the process.
Exactly. So, right? And I was the majority leader of the California State Senate.
Right.
So very important in understanding. You have to know the rules and how things work and the committees and timelines, and so basically understanding what we have to do to ensure that everybody, not just Republicans, not just Democrats, but everybody gets a fair chance of having the government in place that we voted for.
Yes, awesome. So I just have a couple more questions. Okay,
that was only one question.
Yes, yeah. So, but I want you to, I want them to know you intimately, so you know, right? Yeah. So, So what triggered your decision to leave the Democrat Party? I mean, what policy that they were pushing that you just cannot accept it?
Once upon a time, I was a Democrat. I walked away from the party. But as Ronald Reagan said, because he was once upon a time a Democrat, he said in reality that he didn't leave the party left him. And that's the same thing as well, too. I no longer recognize that party. You know, I grew up under the era of John F. Kennedy, really an America first. Remember, we went to the moon. We had the first moon landing. It was the time of American exceptionalism. It was the time of the American worker, and we fought for that. And over the years, the Democrat Party just basically abandoned the working class, abandoned the middle class, basically represented the far extremes and the very elite. And it was really when Donald Trump came into office that I saw a return to America first, a respect for the working class, a new fight for the American worker, whether it's in the auto industry or in Hollywood, fighting for everyday jobs of middle class Americans fighting for their jobs. So I decided, along with the crazy far left environmental policies, the Democrats couldn't even say what a woman is.
Yes.
They called us birthing people. No, we're mothers. We're
so
mothers.
Insulting.
Exactly. All of these issues. There was for many issues, I decided I can no longer be a Democrat. I believe in school choice. I fought for school choice for most of the time that I served in office, and the Democrats had just abandoned California students. So I said, bye-bye, adios, you know, hasta la vista, baby. Terminated my relationship with the Democrat, endorsed Donald Trump, joined the Republican Party, and I actually had the honor of speaking at Trump's only rally during his re-election cycle in Coachella. So it was an honor to meet him.
Was awesome.
And when I met him, he just welcomed me, said, "Welcome to the Republican Party."
Yeah, and we're more about policy and, you know, over party anyway, right? You know, we should be like that.
Right.
So one last question is that what message would you like to give to reasonable Democrat like you, who are kind of struggling, but they feel like they're obligated to stay within that party, and for this midterm especially, it's very crucial, whether we're gonna have a California or we're done with the California, right? So what would you say to them?
I would say walk away, join me. I walked away, and we find that today when we look at just everyday voters, people are saying 65% of California voters are saying that California is on the wrong track. This is a change election. As somebody once said, if you're happy with your party, you can keep your party.
Yes.
But we are number one in homelessness. We are number one in unemployment fraud. We're number one in so many issues, the highest gas taxes in the nation. But we are basically at the bottom of the pack in terms of school improvement, literacy. So this is an opportunity to end one party dominant rule, because then there's no room for any dissenting or change voices. So this is our chance. It's our opportunity. I urge you, walk away. As somebody once said as well, what have you got to lose? So join us. Please vote Republican this year. And I urge you, vote Gloria Romero for Lieutenant Governor.
And Steve Hilton for governor.
It should be arriving soon.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.